Boa Hancock. I am looking respectfully. I have nothing but respect for my Empress. Yep. No particular reason at all. I begged Mike for this guy. No.
Oh,
none whatsoever. Nope. No, sir. No. Boa Hancock is our latest blue leader in OPTCG's 500 years into the future. And if you would like to learn how to play her, here's everything you need to know. Boa is a blue-colored leader with 5 life, 5k power that reads, during your turn, once per turn, you may activate this when a character leaves play from one of your abilities. If you have 5 or less cards in hand, you may draw 1 card. Of the leaders in this set, Boa highlights a fun type of gameplay mechanic that emphasizes the identity of her color typing, bouncing and drawing the control board. And we can do so with either Warlords or Kuja Pirates. But off the cuff, her ability seems pretty basic. You might even think that this promotes having a smaller hand size. Well, what it does give you is a freedom of many options and playlines. Do you have a larger hand size with a bunch of attacks you need to counter out of? Feel free to do so, because on your next turn, you're definitely going to Gravity Blade the attackers you countered out of, and then draw a card to start building your hand back up while they're stuck repopulating their board. Do you have 6 cards in hand and one of them is a bounce effect card? Play it, then replace it, and go back to 6. As I mentioned earlier, we have 2 sort of main ways to build this deck. We have Kuja Pirates and 7 Warlords. OPTCG introduces us to the broad Kuja Pirate subtype, while also giving us some much needed tools for 7 Warlords. Admittedly, the Kuja Pirate subtype is a bit lackluster, with a funny bounce target, a low cost blocker, a 2k counter, and some events and 2 mid-range cards. It just feels like there's no real need to mention them. Get out! Perhaps when we get more Kuja-specific cards that will help the subtype, it will be worth mentioning, but for now let's focus on the 7 Warlords typing. Of the new cards to utilize in OPTCG, the most obvious one is Boa Hancock. She's a cost 6, 8k power character, with an on-play that reads, up to one of your opponent's characters other than Monkey D. Luffy
Simp!
cannot attack until the end of your opponent's turn. Then, place up to 1 character with a cost of 1 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. This card helps our game plan in the most self-explanatory of ways. Freeze down something on your opponent's board, bottom deck a searcher type card, yours or theirs, then draw a card to start stacking up your hand. Our new Crocodile card in 07 is a great 2k counter, while also having a bounce on play ability that can return up to 1 character with a cost of 2 or less to the owner's hand. Another great OPTCG card to help us is Trafalgar Law, a 4 cost 4k power, 2k counter warlord who says, activate main, you may return this character to the owner's hand. If your opponent has 6 or more cards in their hand, your opponent places 1 card from their hand at the bottom of their deck. Effectively, these are mostly all 2k counters, but serve as great tools after they have countered with the help of 4 cost Gecko Moria from Starter Deck 3. Speaking of old cards, Dracula Mihawk from Starter Deck 3 and 3 cost blocker Don Quixote do Flamingo from OPO1 really help us filter and plan our plays ahead. While EBO1's Edward Weevil is a strong 6k body who lets you draw 1 to replace himself in hand. Now what do all of these cards have in common? Well, firstly, they can all be searched out by our 7 Warlords searcher, OPO7 Sengoku. And secondly, they can all be cheated out by OPO7 Jinbe. Jinbe, a 4 cost 5k power character that has on play bring out another 4 cost or lower warlord from hand. This can play literally every 2k counter card I've listed and then some, like all the following plays and more. Play Jinbe to bring out a blocker Doflamingo to start rearranging your top deck for future turns. Play a Jinbe to play Starter Deck 3 Gecko Moria to return a 2k to your hand from trash. Play Jinbe to bring out OPO7's Croc for an early bounce on their searchers to start filling your hand. Play Jinbe to bring out your 6k on play draw a card Edward Weevil. Play Jinbe to bring out OPO7's Trafalgar Law in case their hand size is much too large. Or play Jinbe early to bring out Starter Deck 3's Mihawk so you can filter out high cost cards and draw more useful ones. You get the picture, right? Jinbe combined with any of these warlords listed helps accrue value on board while applying pressure, keeping Boa in control. This, combined with bottom deck events such as 3000 Worlds, Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, and Red Rock, help keep your opponent's board manageable and clear. There are also good boss cards to keep into account here, such as 7 cost Borsalino, 9 cost Mihawk, and both the draw or bounce 10 cost Kaidos. These are all excellent cards to run to close out games. You're gonna spend a lot of turns playing some high cost removal events. So weaving in some 5k swings really helps keep onboard pressure. So it doesn't really feel so bad when you spend all of your Dawn to remove 1 or 2 of their characters. Especially when you play Perfume Femur, which is a 2-cost event that gives one of our 7 Warlord leaders or characters plus 2k for the turn, while also making them unblockable. And if you would like some cool deck lists to help you get started, here's my list. And if my list doesn't do the trick, here's a list that won first place in a Japanese flagship tournament. And if you'd like to see more about how Boa is played, channel members are getting an exclusive livestream turned exclusive VOD the day this video goes public, where I'll be playing games with the deck and answering your questions live. In fact, members got access to this guide and all our other videos up to 2 weeks early. All you have to do is click the join button below. But let me know in the comments what cards or special text you're bringing to your Boa deck. And if you're looking for more OP07 leader guides, or just more fun One Piece content in general, make sure to hit the subscribe button and check out the channel. Thanks!